Okay, it's March.
Yeah, so I'm ready. You can start talking. I'm just getting my little desk over here.
Okay.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's March. When after yesterday, I was thinking about you, and I was like, "It's March. It's March. Okay, guys, what's going on?" Because everything in March was going to be, everything was going to start changing in March. First, you tell me, only because I keep thinking about it, and I just want to get it out of the way. Is there anything that has changed already?
Well, not regarding a physical move, but I started to think it's not a physical move. It has to do with, and that's what I want to see if you pick up.
Okay. Okay.
I don't
All
know if
right.
I tell you what I want,
Okay.
but I
All
will
right.
if you don't bring it up.
All right. Let's see. Uh, okay. This is a really weird image that I just got. But that's you and I, Sue. I saw you standing and I saw your body crack down the middle and two sides fell off to the side. And that I saw you emerging looking very different. Not, not physically looking very different, but looking very different. Your energy was so different. Blossoming is what I was hearing. And I feel like this image that they're showing me is that it's more than just making a change where everything is different. There is something that has happened on a very basic energetic cellular level for you, and that if it hasn't happened already within, they're actually saying within the next week or so, you're going to have this transformative experience that just brings you to a whole new way of operating within the world. Does that make any sense?
Yes, and like I said, whatever you don't say, I'll fill in.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Just let me know, was that too crazy or am I really seeing what I'm
No,
seeing?
that's exactly what I want to talk about.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Um, 'Cause that's my ego that gets in the way. They know what they're talking about, but I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So I'll move it out again. Makes me want to weep with joy. It just makes me want to weep with joy because you have reached the point that you've been working toward your entire adult life. And doesn't mean that it's over. It means that it really has just begun. That this shell of the 3D life and everything that you've experienced and all the emotions and all the physical, physicalities, including the HIV, I just feel like everything is gone, that you've worked to just release everything. And again, I see it as like a hard exterior that got cracked, fell to the side, and inside, and it's not even like the Mariushka dolls. It's like who you are inside is so much bigger than what the physical shell was that you've been living in all of these years. But that the work that you have been doing up until this point to allow you now to really go into your soul's work, your soul's purpose, it's done. And that's a big statement. That is a big statement. It is done. And so I almost feel like you got hit by lightning, and I feel like energetically that's exactly what happened. You got hit by lightning. And that now it's time to just kind of stand and allow yourself to expand, and that you don't really have to do anything for it because this is just part of the process, but you need to stand in place for just a brief period of time while everything expands. And they're showing me like I tell you, I wish I was a filmmaker because the things they show me, it's like now what they're showing me is that it's the hard body cracked, and that's your outer exterior, and now you're like going like this, expanding, but you're just a light body. It's all light, and you're like oh, okay, got to stretch, I got to get out. And you are much taller and much fuller than the physical body. And you are in a place where you will be living more in your light body than in your physical body. You're not leaving the physical realm, but everything has changed. Everything has changed. And that people will recognize your light body, and yet at the same time you always have your physical body almost as an interface, you know, that's your interface, but who you are behind this physical facade, which is a weird way to put it, is operating at a much higher vibrational level, and it's fuller, and it's you. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much to tell you, but
Okay. All right. Well, they have something else to say before they.
I want to hear you keep going.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, and they know me. I need to know. I need to know. They don't need to know because they know. They're like, no, let us keep going for a little bit first. And I'm like, darn it all. Okay. They want you to know it doesn't matter where you are. Your physical location does not matter, because the work that you're doing is not coming from the physical. And so you get to create whatever it is that you want. If you want to stay where you are, you'll create the environment that you need. And I heard community as well, because this is going to bring a whole new community into your life, where you really have not had a community before. This is going to open you to a new community of other light beings who are operating behind their physical facades as well. And so it doesn't really matter where you are, because you're all going to be in the same place at the same time. And what I'm hearing, is it hearing or feeling, is that whatever you decide is what everyone else decides, that you get to make the choice. Do I want to be here? Do I want to be in North Carolina? Do I want to be in Connecticut? Do I want to be in Europe? Do I want to be in Mexico? That you get to follow your heart instead of following what the guides are telling you, because your creation of your space is key to those that you're calling into your life. Does that make any sense to you? Okay. And so now, whereas 3 months ago, they kind of held a carrot in front of your nose saying, oh yeah, we're going to lead you to the right place. Well, they led you to the cracking and the opening, and now you get to choose. You get to say, where would I be happiest? Where does my energy match? And that's where you get to go. And I don't know why. I don't know if you've considered this, but have you thought about Mount Shasta? We've never talked about that before.
No, not at all. I don't know anything about what it looks like over there or anything.
Okay, well, maybe they're showing me that because that's not where you're going to end up at Mount Shasta. And I've never been there myself, but it is. Somebody told me that it's the root chakra of the world, you know, and it's a really
like a crown chakra. I think I heard. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, one of the Earth's chakras, I guess. And I guess that's what those big energetic centers are. You may very well end up in one of the chakra centers for Mother Earth, and that it's going to be a move of great joy, no confusion, no, you know, that when you say, this is where I want to be, everything is just going to fall into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That you don't have to be led there, because it's all going to come from inside of you, and that your people are going to be there just because that's the way it works. You know, you don't have to worry about, well, are they going to find that too, or I need to find where they are. It's you know, I need to be let. No, none of that is in play anymore. What's in play is, where does my heart want to be, and that's where everything will happen. Okay. Let's see if they want to say anything else before you fill me in. There is it's about Sam, and I feel like you've let him go. I feel like something happened where you have given him to his own soul's direction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it was a pretty major moment, and one of intense love and freedom. And I feel that right now the tethers that have held the two of you together are not in place. Okay. Now, what they're showing me is that Sam is absolutely part of your soul family, and so he's going to come back into the fold. But it may not be for 10 more years. We don't know. His soul is going to take him. But there was a huge release on your part. Just give it in love and allow him to go and allow his soul to lead him where he's going. That makes sense to you?
Yep.
And there's applause for you on the other side, because as a mother, and they're saying more than just as his physical mother, but as the soulmate. He's absolutely one of the most important people in your soul family. That to be able to say, yes, I can leave him on his own and I can move in my own direction was absolutely like a huge act of love, and extremely important for both your growth and for his. And does it mean that you don't talk to each other and see each other? No, this was all on an energetic level, and you still are mother and son, and going to his college and him coming home to wherever you are, and that's the way it's going to keep going. But that intense sense of responsibility for him was released, and that you're okay with that, and you didn't think you'd ever be okay with that. And I see it makes sense because you're nodding, and yeah. Okay. And they want you to know that that's all part of allowing that shell to crack open. That as long as you were holding responsibility for him, that couldn't have happened, because your relationship with him will be in that light body again, but he needs to get to his own light body before that happens, and you can't lead him there. Okay, so now you're going to create this whole new life that of course he's going to be part of, but he won't be physically part of it until he is able to crack his shell open and allow his light body out. And he's got a lot of living to do before that happens. Okay. It's just so beautiful what they're showing me, that you have been so concerned about your family and the people that you love, who are physically part of your family, and that you've always taken care of everybody, and that this cracking of the shell really released you from all of that responsibility and has given you the opportunity to go find your soul family to do the work that you came here to do. And understand that what you've done in these first 50 or so years was part of that work, that each one of you had to undergo intense heaviness in the physical world, and the release of the heavy emotions, the heavy physicality, because that's all part of the gift that you have given to Mother Earth, is helping to resolve things that have been so much a part of her experience. And so as the light workers all have had to work through very, very challenging and heavy lives to come to the place where their light is just shining, that in itself has been a gift to Mother Earth, and been a gift to all of the others on the planet, because you're showing, not telling, about what the process is, and what for the next couple of 100 years, Earth is going to be going through, and the people on Earth are going to be going through. And that now it's your time to come to, so that's all been part of your soul purpose. But now it's time to come together with the others who are in their light bodies to now start creating a higher vibration around and Earth herself. And that's where you're going to next. Were you told that you don't have HIV anymore?
No, but that was amazing you said that. And I am wondering, like, how will I find that out without stopping what I'm doing?
They're saying read about it, because there's something in you that's going to be triggered where you do not have to go through the stem cell, but it's something about healing your own stem cells and allowing them to grow. And yeah, and you're going to get that. You're going to get the confirmation. And I don't feel like the confirmation is going to come for another 6 or 12 months, but it's part of the cracking of the exterior. And it is also necessary, you know, you've taken on HIV not just for you, but for so many other people. And your curing and your process of the HIV, as you write your book about it and you tell people about how the body can be healed by light and by clearing and by love, that this last process is very much part of that conversation. And what's going to happen in the next 6 to 12 months is going to be the opening premise of your book on curing HIV, but it's going to be more about clearing of the physicalities and the heavier vibrational emotions and physical issues, and moving into the light. God, you have so many books ahead of you. That's the one that's going to get your name out there, though. How I cured HIV for myself. You know, and you'll acknowledge the physical things you've done, but it really has to do with energetics. Okay. Yep, now they said, all right, we're done for now. Because they're never really done, are they?
Okay. Today, especially, I'm really in a place where I feel like even tears are just below the surface of just, you know, the exhaustion of, like you're saying, coming out of this shell, because I have been going through some intense, and it does feel like, you know, being struck by lightning, but in light waves, I guess. But I mean, I'm physically vibrating during the night now, and internally, not like you wouldn't see it externally, but I'm being woken up with just vibration in my whole body. And
it's like that inside shiver, right?
Yeah, or shimmering, or like a tuning fork resonating, you know, with, you know, so it has led me to look up things like what is going on, and then I heard the Schumann resonance, so I looked that up, and I did catch some real peak highs of 85 and 71 and whatever, but because I was like, you know, there is something going on. And I've heard other people on YouTube saying that they're also going through this vibration thing. And the other night, March 2nd, which was really the morning of March 3rd at 2:22 a.m., I was woken up because it was more like shaking going on the inside. And it was almost like someone was shaking me awake, but it wasn't just one limb. It was like whole entire internal, my whole insides were just like, it was a higher, like if a frequency is doing this, let's say, and mine have been going like this, and then this was like a this, though. It was like a shake. and then I looked up, you know, a couple of YouTubes, and I found out other people saying that, like down the Schumann resonance, which I posted on Facebook at 3:33 a.m., which was my awakening was at 2:22 a.m., but that same time, that was when that energetic signature appeared on the Schumann resonance. and other people, you know, were saying, you know, they're here now, and they were actually saying it was the Pleiadian flagship Nibiru coming to assist in the opening of the portal, which they're saying, you know, you never know with dates, but like the equinox, March 21st. And, you know, since I usually just observe dates like that, but yet I'm physically been feeling this where my head, I never get headaches, never, my whole life, never get headaches. And in the last month and a half, I've had pretty much a constant headache, which, you know, I was questioning again, is this the medication? Is this the buildup of toxins? Is it my liver, you know, being overwhelmed? Or, you know, other people are saying, no, it's the downloading of this energy, it, you know, can give you a headache. And so like just a couple days ago, you know, I was complaining. I was like, would you please help me get rid of this headache? You know, like whatever it is, whatever the cause of it is. And I recently, as in yesterday, started this new, it's a hemp product, but it's not an oil, and it's not a CBD oil. It's the full hemp product, but it's made in water instead of oil. It's micellized, if that's a word. And so it was like everything's been happening so fast that I don't even have time to understand, why am I doing this? Why am I ordering this? You know, it's all just like it's like, so like I'm in a washing machine, and I can't keep up with it because of all that head stuff going on. But anyway, it arrived yesterday, and I was like, okay, I've done the research. This particular company and product, I feel, you know, is the highest, purest level of, you know, I've avoided it all for like a year, but this particular product. So I took 1 drop. You're supposed to take like 1 drop for the first hour, and then increase it if you don't feel anything by 2 drops the second hour, and then 3 drops the third. But 1 drop, like just in 10, and that's the other part of it, is in like in 10 minutes, it gets absorbed really rapidly into your body because of this water-based way they made it. And I was like, you know, so hyperactive. I'm always multitasking a billion things at once. And I actually, within 10 minutes, I sat back in my chair, and it was an observation I read. I was watching that my body did that. I was like, oh my God, I just relaxed. You know, like, yeah, it was like, like my body, I was like, I never do that. I never just sit back in a chair, you know, and
what's the name? I'm going to write that down. What's the name of?
I'll give you my website, because I've signed up now to, you know, promote this and sell it, but
Okay.
I don't want to sell it retail. I want to sell it wholesale, like get you to have your own wholesale account. But it's called Zilis, Zilis, and it's that's not how you say it. You say it Zilis or something.
Okay.
Zilis, and it's anyway. So I took the 1 drop because I said, if anybody's going to feel anything, I am so sensitive, because I have purified my body so much since October of 2017 with those liquids, you know, we started talking about. And anyway, so, you know, this vibration, I have to put stuff on like at night on my back. Like I've been using my transdermal magnesium gel. I alternate between that and like a cayenne healing balm thing, and also this doTERRA deep blue product. Like it's always just so stiff and compacted, like plastic feeling, you know, like it's so much tension. So anyway, I took this, and I was recording like what was happening just in the first hour. And I think by 40 minutes or 30 or 40 minutes, I just felt my back just melt like butter. And I was like, oh my God. And then it went up to my neck. And so then I had to do some errands. I went back out to the store, and my headache also left in like the first 10 minutes. And it was like it was just like a toxic feeling headache, but I don't know what it was. You know, maybe it was that energy.
I have to tell you, I've had the same thing. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. And for me, you know, I'm doing that regression, and I did, it was like the weekend of January 20th. And I really hadn't, it took me, I don't even think I'm back. I mean, it's the same kind of thing of that there's such an intense change occurring. And I've had that low grade headache.
Yeah,
it's like
it's hard to work with that.
Yeah, it is, and it's kept me very unfocused.
Exactly.
And what I heard is that I was supposed to be unfocused because whatever's going on inside my body and inside my light body, I just have to stay out of the way and just like go about my business, watch my grandchild, just do.
Yeah, so I've been like meditating, which I never did before, but I've had to because the in my head is like so intense that I've had to just I listened to this one meditation. I lay on this, I have a roller thermal massage table bed back there, and then it just like brings it down. And I've been doing that, like having to do that twice a day. As soon as it starts building up again, I've done that. And so that was working, for a while, and that still works, but it doesn't do anything. Even though there's rollers going up and down my back, and infrared and jade and all that, it's still, even I just had a massage 2 days ago, which she does deep tissue for an hour and a half. And right away the next day it's back, so it's like, anyway, so I took this one drop yesterday, and then I went back out and did some things. My computer was needing an upgrade again, which is like, okay, maybe that was also energetic because it's brand new, basically 9 months old or something. And the headache started to come back just from interacting at Best Buy and Office Depot again. And I was like, okay, I'm not taking any more until I get home so I can just really feel this. I want to experience it. Because if you're out and about, like people who give you samples at a busy health fair, like you're never going to notice what it's really doing in that situation. And I was given it, actually. I actually saw the doctor who invented it. I went to a talk he was giving, and someone gave me like a little tiny, like a quarter teaspoon, and they gave me the topical. There's a topical too. So I put the topical on. I had the sample, but for 2 days, my back didn't bother me. And I was like, wow, was that the topical? So now that I have the product, I have both. I said, I'm going to try it from the inside first, which is the drops, before I use the topical, just to see what it does from the inside. And so last night, anyway, I came home and I took 2 drops at like 5:30 or something. And I just laid down. Well, first I had to decompress from the day because I didn't want that to get in the way. I wanted to kind of be in a normal place to get that stuff out of, the headache that had come back and everything. But before I went to bed, so I took the 2 drops before I went to bed. So it was more like 9:30. And right away, and I didn't put any product on me. I didn't put any essential oils, all my usual routine. I didn't do anything. And the other thing that happens right away is all that chatter just immediately starts to clear. It feels like you had a glass of wine without any alcohol at all. Like it just feels like you just calm right down. And I was actually talking with someone, but she was doing the talking, and I was able to just sit back and observe her. Like it was a relaxed position, to be passively just in and up, like almost like you're on ecstasy in a way, but no drug at all, but a very, very mild. And I only mentioned that I did that once in college, but it makes you just sit back, and at least for me.
Wow.
And anyway, so I took it before I went to bed, and while I was, falling asleep in the first half hour, I felt my back melt again. I was like, wow, this is so cool. If this is really happening, and this is going to be the way it will, I can count on this kind of thing. And then, I've been waking up at like 3 o'clock, which I always did, but I've been like staying awake like from 3, 4, 5, so much so that I've been getting up to see the sunrise too in the last 10 days, and like feeling like I need to see the sunrise. And that has calmed and clarified my day, starting out looking at the sun too. So I don't know if there's some sun code thing going on. But anyway, so I actually slept though until 5:30 straight through last night. And I usually have to wake up and take another product, and my Tranquility formula, and doTERRA has a Serenity capsule, which always kind of helps put me back to sleep. But I slept all the way through, and and then my feet also. I'll spend the whole time talking about my symptoms, but in the arches of my feet on a reflexology place, when I do something to my back, they start throbbing, like I'll just say, like where the arches are, which I think the adrenal glands are there, but they'll start doing this thing that I can feel, it's like a heartbeat. And that's them asking, saying, give it to us too. We don't want you to just put it on your back. And they always do that. They'll be quiet all day long, but as soon as I do something that helps my back, like the past tense also, I always like layer on this past tense oil. But anyway, they started. So at 5:30, I felt them doing their little pulsing, like, which has been intensifying during the night with that vibration, let's just do it like this, that I've been putting on this emu oil even on my arches with cayenne, hot cayenne, and that has calmed my arches and my feet down. But so I felt them this morning doing that anyway at 5:30. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the and I felt it last night too when I went to bed, when I first, because it melted you from the top down my back.
This is a hemp based.
Yeah, it's a hemp base, but they were actually tested by at the Mayo Clinic, and proved that it was 94% absorbed in the body, and it lasted 12 hours. They did studies, clinical trials with people who they took their blood every 15 minutes to see if it was still in their system, and it proved that it stayed at this high level for 12 hours, and it gets absorbed much more rapidly than another product might take an hour or something. And they're saying most other products you're only getting 4 to 6% absorption, where this is immediately absorbed, stays at this high 94% for 12 hours. So anyway, though, I felt...
I'm sorry, and it's meant for healing?
You know, this is going to take up my whole hour, but I guess this is why I'm talking to you. But yeah, so it's the and I didn't know anything about any of this, believe me. For a year I've avoided it, like every product, like who knows who's good or not. I didn't trust anybody, and I was really skeptical. And you know, it was kind of like feeling like you'd have to be a subjective tester and test everyone out, and how would you know which one was better? You know, like everybody's going to test subjectively different. But this particular one, it was put in my face like 3 times, and then the doctor was here, and he lives in another state. I forget which state he lives in, but he was here, so I was like, okay, I'll go listen to this doctor who created this product. And and again, I'll send you my website, but all I've done, and so I took the other 2 drops this morning at 5:30 when that happened again, and I was just like, okay, let me see if my feet specifically stop doing their little thing, and it does the thing. It washes down from the top down, and then it got to my feet, and they were so satisfied from the inside out, though. I've been putting products on outside, and my feet, they stopped doing that thing, and it's just like, it's just an amazing thing to feel it happening. Like, and so anyway, today, like I wasn't even going to talk like this. I was going to try to hold this space because I've been in this calm now, you know, like I've been in just a calm, but it felt like I wrote down a bunch of words to describe my own experiences and what I think this is doing. And I think it's doing a grounding thing for me personally. Like and I think the other night I was told, work on the nervous system. It's people's nervous systems that are going to be the most affected by, first of all, I guess this energy, but also the 5G and whoever knows what else on the planet, you know, but it's the nervous system. So, and this does work on the nervous system. It works on the immune system too, and the endocrine system. So, but I don't know. And then I started to get like a sore throat after a couple hours, and I did that last night and again this morning. And so to me, I was like, well, is that my immune system activating, or is it my immune system? Because I'm not even thinking, how will I know what it's doing to my immune system other than actually I will. And someone's going to take my eye pictures today so I can look at my own eyes and see how
okay.
that changes in there. But I mean, I've been so feeling like electrocuted, you know, like, so I was thinking yeah, like I'm exactly when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's it. But no, like, so I'm like a grounding fork or whatever they're called, antenna, I don't know, grounding rod. And so I've been like, okay, I need to walk barefoot on the grass. I need to walk barefoot on the sand. I need to do something to get this out of my body because it's been so like electrical, and this product is doing that. It has just calmed all of, like, so for fibromyalgia, for Parkinson's, you know, anything and not just nervous system though, but for me, I'm focusing on the nervous system, but it has calmed all those nerves. And so people who are ADD, who are anxious, anxiety, and I see that with people getting crazier and crazier, you know, like their tolerance level is just so short-circuited. So there it is again, short-circuiting. I was told a long time ago people were going to be short-circuiting.
Yeah.
This particular product, I really feel like they don't even realize what it's doing. And that was one of my questions, actually. I was once told that, you know how like corn was brought to this planet a long time ago, and certain animals like sheep and goats, but and someone told me that the hemp plant was like a plant that was brought here from the gods, you know, like um, originally. So what can you tell me about that? Like, that's what I'm wondering now, because now that I'm feeling all this and I know this is what is needed to help people sustain what we're going to be going through, then I'm having it, you know.
Okay. Well, first off, the first thing they said is that um, understand that in order to live with the higher vibrational light body, the physical body has to change. That Earth is going to still be a physical planet. Okay, oh man, they just did this whole download. So let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can do this. Earth is going to remain a physical plane. So many people now think that moving into the 5D means that we're going to be only in energetic planet and like not be able to be seen with a 3D eye, and we're not going to be able to feel our bodies. And what your guides are saying is that no, that is not the way that it's going to be. The energy, the physical body is going to be refined and lightened and to match the higher vibrational energy body and to match the higher vibrational they're saying like emanations, which to me, I'm interpreting that as like the emotions, the thoughts, they are all going to be on a higher vibration. So where we lose the hatred and we lose the low level thinking and we lose the fear, we still are going to have a physical body to allow these higher vibrations. So our physical body has to change along with our light bodies and with the souls that are coming into the bodies. And that's very much a part of the transition right now. And that the things that people say are bad, oh, I've gotten this so many times. Oh my God. And I never want to say it out loud because it's just so against, but like all of the radiation, the chemical changes that have occurred, and people are saying, no, that's bad, go back to nature, go back to the world. And it's like, no, there was a reason for all of this to be happening, and there was a reason why it happened after the Industrial Revolution in this last 150 years of, you know, and this is coincided with the last 150 years of spiritual awareness and people becoming aware of who we really are, is that they're meant to go hand in hand, and that there are genetic changes that have to occur. And some of them will come from the things that we say are bad, the chemicals, the pollution, the plastics, but that doesn't necessarily make them bad. It's just different from what it was. And that the cancers, oh my God, I can't believe they're saying all of this, but the cancers that people have are meant to weed out the physicality that cannot sustain the life that is being created on our world right now. And so through this huge influx of cancer, I mean, cancer's always been around, but you know, right now it's so heightened, and people are saying, well, it's because of the plastics, it's because of the pollution, it's because of the food that we eat. But energetically, what it's meant to do is to force our bodies to mutate. And to mutate to a place where we can hold on to the our light energetics, okay, and that we can still have a 3D presence in this world. This is all very huge, so I'll tell you, the stuff that comes through your guides, I'm like, whoa. And so finding things like hemp, which certainly was a gift, I mean, everything on this earth has been a gift to us, is to help us along in this process. It's not to bring us backwards to who we were before all of the mutations started to occur. But it's to help us to process all of the mutations and become easy with them and to become integrated with the new bodies that we're going to have. And that all of us here that are here and the first, first waves of these things occurring have said, okay, we'll figure this out. We'll take on this heavy stuff and we'll figure it out. That the rest of the world, it may be 100 years, 200 years before they get this, but you are part of the figuring this out. And how do you take everything that you've taken into your body that's caused your body to mutate, and how do you bring peace to your body to coexist with your higher vibrational being that has just emerged? And so, yes, it's like, that's why you're so excited about this Xylease, and
yeah, whatever.
yeah, this new product. You're so excited, and why you've always been willing. It's one of the reasons why you took on HIV, was so that you would start experimenting. Okay, well, what do the minerals of the earth do for us? What are the stones? What are the essential oils, the plants that we've been given? How does that work? How do we pull this all together and still coexist with the modern technology, and it's not a coincidence. Oh my God, they're like so fast downloading me. There's not a coincidence that with the onset of mass media and computers and telephones, and a lot of people say, conspiracy theorists say, yes, well, they're trying to control us, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, but energetically on the whole earth plane, we are meant to be exposed to these wavelengths, and we are meant to be exposed to these things that, again, may cause cancer in some people because it's meant to be weeded out, and that there is a reason. And yes, there may be conspiracy behind it, but Earth's soul is in charge. And Gaia is the one that's orchestrating all of this to get her to where she needs to be. And so we can fight it, or we can say, how do we live with this? How do we stop pointing fingers? How do we stop blaming and becoming victims? And how do we become empowered by these mutations that are occurring within our physical body? And you've just found another one of the ways. And that's part of what your purpose is showing the world how you get to utilize what we've been given, both in what seems to be negative and positive, but in reality, there's no value to any of them. It's just about being in our new bodies and our new earth.
That is what it feels like.
Sure.
That is what it feels like, where you said it makes it the seamless integration between the light body, because that's what it felt like. It felt like yeah, it just like melted us together. It was a melting. It wasn't like stitches. It wasn't like, it was like we merged. It melted, and that got rid of all of that static electrical tension that it had been building and building and building, like especially in my back. I was like, every day it was like hurted.
Make sure you send me your website, because
I'm try it, because
I'm hearing, for me, that's exactly, because that's the problem that I've had since I came back from London, is that I'm operating at such a higher vibrational level, but I still am in my physical body, and I still have to deal with diabetes and sleep and not sleep and headaches, and it's like, yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to integrate it, and it's so stiff.
It grounds you. It just calms it all down. It just melts it all together. That's the best way to put it. It melts it all together. And I was like,
yeah, because I've been doing grounding meditations. I've been using frankincense. Yeah. But it's like, it's not enough. It keeps me okay, so I don't feel like I'm flying off. But this sounds like you were led to this.
I only did 2 drops. They recommend 20 drops a day. I only did 2.
Oh God.
So I think, like, you know, if you're like, if somebody isn't as purified and had cleaned out as much as I have, you know, then it would take more and more, and that would
Yeah.
just be the sign that, okay, you need to clean that other stuff if you want to take less, you know, like
Yeah.
just to get
Well,
through.
that's what I got. It's because you are already just about there. You just need, like, so 1 or 2 drops a day may be all that you
Twice
need
then.
until you get to the point where you don't need it anymore because the integration is permanent.
Yeah, I'm going to try 3 drops tonight just to see what that feels like. But two did it. I just had to wait. Like some of it took 50 minutes, and then it was like, okay, like the last part. I have this one part here that just, this gets so, I don't know. I'm almost like, oh, I wish someone would just use a rolling pin and roll this side.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I mean, I never all
I
of the
totally
same
picture a
places.
rolling pin. I'm like, if I could do this to myself, I would use a rolling pin and just do this up and down right here. And
Yeah. And across the back, across the top of the back, right?
pulsing too. I feel it like pulsing when it's like electrical. So I've been using the magnesium gel, and that kind of works for a little while, but it doesn't last, and I have to do it over.
Yeah, it's not.
And because I thought it was like
Hemp
calcium.
is I'm sorry. They're saying that hemp is that it was meant to be the pure thing, and that this onslaught of using marijuana, both in its smoking form as a recreational drug, which people use it recreationally because it calms the anxiety and it calms but the hemp is meant to do the same thing without the hallucinogenic properties, which we don't need. It's like I have a real issue with the marijuana stuff because not because I think it's bad, but because it still puts you in an unnatural altered state, where I want everybody to be in an altered state that came naturally from the work that they did. And that's what the hemp is meant to be. And they're saying that the marijuana is a what's the word? They're saying it's a bastardized version of hemp. And I think that they do have the roots in the same plant, in that, marijuana, they're saying that marijuana was cultivated, thousands of years ago for its hallucinogenic properties, but that originally it came from that hemp line. And that again, it's been useful, but it's been a crutch, and that the hemp product is the one that's meant to do all of the physical things that the marijuana does without altering the mental state. Does that make sense?
Yes, and this product, like I said, they micellized it, and I have to see how to exactly say that word, but they put it in, so it dissolves in water. Like if you put a drop in a glass of water, it would just dissolve in that water, versus CBD oil, which would sit on the top and float, and it wouldn't dissolve. And first of all, CBD is like it's like a drug. The drug part they took out of the hemp, the full plant, so what I'm using is the full plant, and not just this, which they're saying the CBD oil is going to end up having side effects. Within 5 years, you're going to start. It's a drug. It's really still a drug.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's an oil though means that it doesn't get like released out of your body. It like starts to build up in there too. And oil-based like vitamins or medications or whatever, they get stuck like in your brain, and they're so hard. You have to melt them out with like a sauna or sweating or. So this is water-based too. So
yeah, and that's it. And this is the beginning, and it's going to take a while for people to buy it, but it's going to come because of those who are using it now, the intense physical changes that they're going to have to match their energetic bodies. It's going to be that's what's going to be the proof, and it's going to take a few years before it catches on. But you were given this, and you found this because this is what you're meant to do. And and I'm feeling like, okay, sign me up. I haven't even read anything about it.
Yeah. No, that's what I feel like.
I'm usually very reluctant. It's like even with the oils, and it's like, yeah, I need to feel it, but this is like, oh no, I need to do this. So yeah.
Yeah, like this is the solution for helping people manage this increasing energetic, transition to the light body. This is the solution to ground it all in, so that it's not disruptive and it stays calm. I mean, I'm just so happy to have found it.
Well, and I'm loving it because I've kept my weight all these years because that's what's grounded me. That's how I've, especially being a Pisces, it's just really hard for me to ground. And so the physical body and the eating, the eating of fatty foods, and it's like I can't tell you. I mean, I've been through the whole process of all the different diets and whatnot, but what my guides keep telling me is that no, until your body is no longer needed, until that weight is no longer needed, you're going to hold on to it. So don't even try. just let it be and love it for what it gives you. And I'm feeling like, oh, this might be the one that helps me to integrate everything so that I can get my health back, because I don't care about the way I look, but I do care about my health, and everything will change if I lose.
And then that's the other thing. Like even in the studies I did for sclerology, which that guy, the doctor, he's a naturopath, he's been saying hemp oil, since the 70s is the number one thing to do if you have cancer is hemp oil. And he like gave us directions on how to make our own hemp oil. It was before this whole industry of CBD oil and these hemp products ever came about. So he was, so that always was like, okay, well, he always said hemp oil for cancer. Like that's the number one thing to do to help cancer. And so anyway, I'm even saying like all these industries coming out, like this one just started in 2015. So this really is the beginning of it. Like it is a great time to, they always say get involved, but I'm even wondering, is this all coming about because it's time? We're going to need this, except the CBD oil is another, I'm saying bastardized version. It's just a quick fix drug.
Yeah. And CBD, well, that's it. There's a guy in my office who is a massage therapist, and he sells the CBD oil, and he uses it, a massage. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to get a brochure and stick it under his door. I never see him, and just say, why don't you look at this instead? Because I'm really hearing, and again, energetically, I have been so resistant to anything using marijuana. And again, it's not a judgment about using drugs or whatever, but it just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like it's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But hemp is, and again, which is the basis of the marijuana plant. This feels like, this is the gift. It's not, because people say, oh, marijuana is a gift that was given to us. And it's like, no, hemp was the gift that was given to us, not the marijuana.
Yeah, and you just made me think of something else. Oh, yeah, all those people selling CBD oil, I'm gonna like write out like a little cheat sheet, because they hardly even have marketing materials for this. They sort of do. They give you a website and it has all these resources and links, which I haven't even looked at. But all those people selling CBD oil, this is the kind of thing you want to go to them and educate them, say, no, switch over to this product. And and it's not about price. Like these are things I was told today. It's not about what's the cheapest price, because this is pure organic. Everything about it is just so off the charts pure, and it's the only one, as far as anyone has ever said, that was actually clinically tested to see, well, how effective is it? Don't just tell me it's effective, prove it. Give me a clinical test, not just your subjective opinion. And so
wow.
94% absorbable and for 12 hours. And I did feel that 12-hour thing. I was like, wow. And so I took it again at 5:30 this morning, and I went back to sleep for 3 hours. And I woke up and I got up and I felt like kind of like a sandbag. And I was kind of like feeling like, oh, this is like the sandbags to hold down the hot air balloons. Like it felt like not like a weight that was negative. It felt like, oh, it's just like
that's the grounding. The grounding.
Yeah, like it was, because all the people, even though all the stuff about celery juice now, and it's like, oh, that's calcium, you need to get it back in solution, use the sodium in the celery juice and the magnesium to, all the stuff about getting it's calcium, but none of that has worked for me. And
that's because they're each like what your guides are saying is that they each have merit, but they don't do the whole thing, and they're meant to get people thinking about using natural products to take care of the physical aspects. That modern medicine and the pharmaceuticals were so important to eradicate so many diseases, and it was a way of telling people that these so-called miracles can occur, and these particular ones came from a lab, people working in a lab, but that it was about allowing the world to understand that things do not have to stay the same, and that we have the power to change not just our minds, but to change our physical beings. And yes, we've gone to the opposite side with the pharmaceuticals, and that's what always happens. It's that pendulum, and now everybody, the pharmaceuticals are the gods. And now what you are starting, what the movement that you're starting is saying, you know what, they're useful, and yeah, we don't really want measles and mumps and rubella, and that's a great thing to have that vaccination. But let's look at the day-to-day, and let's talk about integrating our being as opposed to fixing a symptom. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, this was just like that melting. I can't tell you, it was like butter. It was like turning to butter instead of that. It was like hard.
I want that.
I know, and the headache just went down. And the first thing that happened in 10 minutes, I had been sitting up, I mean, literally ran in the door, had to get all these papers, I had to be somewhere else, like a billion things. And I took the first drop in front of this girl, and I immediately sat back. I was like, oh my God, look what I just did. Like my body just relaxed. Yeah, because I'm going to be describing it this way, which they don't even know anything about, that it's working on people this way. I mean, they're just talking about the regular stuff, fibromyalgia, but it is making me think, oh, all these people who told me about all these pains, and I know they still have them, even though, okay, what's being attacked? It's the reproductive system, it's the nervous system, and it's the immune system. So, the other systems like the digestive system, those recipes, those liquid recipes are more about, they create a feeling of light coming, and I'm looking down because it's like they create a feeling of light coming out of your intestines. Like so picture the opposite of that feeling, when you can feel just like light, like a flashlight shining right through your intestines, yet you've gotten all the nutrients you need. You're not hungry, but there's just nothing in there because everything's, just the liquids. But when I did want to ground myself, because when I was like, this is too crazy, I'm vibrating too high at night, I'm not sleeping, I'm waking up too early and I'm staying awake, I would eat something heavier just to be something cooked, just to like, okay, I can't do this, I have to just bring this back down. But it proved, that food was doing that, but there was nothing to bring it down, and it was unsustainable. It was like frantic.
Yeah.
This product now can do both.
Yeah, they're just saying, decide where you want to be. Okay, that's your next step, is that you've been doing all of the work, and that decide where you want to be for the next. I just want to make sure I'm hearing them right. They're saying decide where you want to be for the next year. Because and it's, if you decide that you want to pick up and just move, it's all going to fall into place. If you decide that you want to stay where you are, that is going to fall into place, because at the end of next year you will be in a place surrounded by people who are in the same vibrational place that you are. Okay.
So yeah, so the reason I wanted to talk to you now was because, I mean, all the stuff was building and building. I was trying to wait till March equinox, actually, because I'm like, I give myself these goals, like, okay, just wait till then. But I felt like, yes, there was maybe something my guides wanted to communicate, but also I would even want to know if my sister wanted to say something. Like, I just felt like somebody might have had a message they wanted me to ask. And my sister, or Robert D, or Robert.
First off, they want to tell you that the extraterrestrial activity is going to start increasing. There's been a huge portal that's been opened that's been very, very quiet, okay? Doesn't coincide with any of the the sun signs, the, you know, the movement, you know, I mean, everybody's always talking about, well, the planet's here and that. And what the guides are saying is that this is a very quiet portal. It's meant to be very quiet, but it's opened up yesterday. And yesterday they're saying it opened, and the energies from now until the equinox are going to start coming in stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, and that's what you're feeling. That's what the vibrations are that you've been feeling over the last few days, and you're doing everything that you're supposed to about integrating all of that and being ready, because you know that that's part of the soul family that's coming in, are the ones who are not really part of our physical bodies, you know, and that you are doing exactly what the activity is increasing, and that you will begin to meet them initially in your sleep. That part of using this product is going to help you to get into a more restful sleep. And what I see for you is that there's going to be lucid dreaming that begins, and that you will begin having conversations and sessions with those that are coming in. Okay, and that's going to be changing everything. Everything's going to be moving in a whole nother direction. So that was the big message that they really didn't want to or couldn't talk about way back in December, of the March being a key time, was this portal opening. Okay, and that they're not ready yet to show themselves physically to you or to anyone else, but that it has come through so that they can start communicating with those who are going to be working with them physically. It's the first wave of physical contact. Okay, and so that you're right on target, and you're doing all the things that need to be done in order for you to be open to that. Okay. And Dee and Robert they both sat back and said, well, shit, we don't have anything else to say besides that. It's like they stole our thunder. Yeah, except Robert would like to say he's really happy that you were able to let Sam go, because he's got a lot of growing to do, and you gave him. Robert has such gratitude that's just like washing over you for being the mother that you have been. And he said, you know, you saved our boy. He said, if I had lived, he would have been so much more screwed. He would have been screwed up. He said, and you saved our boy. And yes, understand, he's going to make his mistakes, and he's going to fall on his face, and you're going to be like, oh my God, why did I let that happen? And he's saying that you have to let it happen, because you have to allow him to know who he is, and you've done the right thing, and I thank you for that. And he's like, and I don't feel like he did this when he was alive, but he's showering you with kisses, like kisses all over your face, you know? And just so much love and so much gratitude. And he said, you're doing the right thing with Sam, and he's a good boy, and he's going to find his way.
Yeah, because I felt like in the last week or so, like they wanted to tell me something, and I was like, you know, I needed to call, like pick up the phone and talk through you.
Yeah, Dee is she's just sitting back, and she's just smiling at you, because she says, she said, not only did my sister get out of that alive, meaning your family, she said, but she's like shooting to whole new heights. She's our little genie. Remember, I dream of Jeannie? Yeah. I don't know if that has any significance for you, but she said she's our little genie, and she's taken us all places. And she said, I have learned so much from you since I've been on this side. Watching you, oh, she's making me feel very emotional. Watching you never turn away from the pain. Watching you always trying to find a way to heal. She said, I've learned so much from you. And I thank you. She said, that's why we took on the family we did, was so that we could do what you're doing. And she said, and you're the only one of us that got out alive. She said, I have hope for our littlest sister.
What did she say?
She said, I have hope for our littlest sister.
Amanda?
Yeah, she said she's going to get out too.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, the last couple of weeks, I felt like they were just like, we have something to tell you, call us, like about like an excitement thing, like that this was, you know, this wasn't just a couple of days ago I started vibrating. This has been going on over a month.
Really?
Like, it really, which I was like, okay, I've got physical proof that, you know.
You were feeling it all starting. And like I said, they said yesterday, March 3rd, March 6th. I don't know what that means, you know, but they said yesterday, March 6th was the day it all opened.
Well, it was like, I think 3 days ago. Wait, let me see. 3 days ago, I saw a YouTube. It was a Pleiadian channeled YouTube, and they said the Schumann resonance, you know, had this energetic thing on it, a symbol that no one knows what it means, and this YouTube was saying that is our signature, that is our language, that we're letting you know that, like I said, the Pleiadian flagship, which they were saying was Nibiru, has arrived in, I don't know, our solar system, I think it was, for the purpose of opening the portal, though. Like there, and when and when I heard this, though, and I watched, you know, lots of YouTubes, but this particular one got me so excited through the roof that I was like, that they had arrived, that like all that stuff about Nibiru, I was totally right. Like it confirmed so much stuff, and I was like, no wonder they're not telling me this. I can't work at all now, you know. Like my excitement was like, this was before this hemp product too, so I was like, I couldn't even get anything done. I was like, you know, so I had to be like, okay, yes, you have to put a lid on it or I'll never get anything done at all, you know. So, but
yeah, yesterday.
But they were saying the portal was on the equinox. But so you just said, and this was, like I said, 3 days ago, and you just said they opened the portal yesterday now. Yesterday.
Yeah.
And so then yesterday I started this product too, which.
Yeah, they said yesterday, and yeah, because they said they opened it yesterday, and it's going to be a gradual thing until the equinox, when everyone is aware that the portal opened. It's like, oh, you got the news flash. You got today. You got the news flash, but everyone else will become aware of it as the equinox comes. But it's opened. It's opened, and they're doing whatever work they need to do to allow it to be known at the equinox.
So what do you think? Are they saying, you know, like what's going to happen on the equinox then? I mean, they were saying it was going to be a bright, blinding flash of white light would be the opening, like, you know, like the flash was the opening of the portal. But
I feel like that happened yesterday.
Okay, like we just didn't register it.
Yeah, you know, like you may want to look and see. I might have to look for this too. Like if there was what they considered a solar flare, something that
solar
big,
flash.
Yeah, and that it, you know, I feel like it happened, and I feel, and what they're saying on the equinox is everyone is going to start to feel the effect of it, that it's not going to be a big, you know, it's not going to be, well, like you with your lightning strike, it wasn't an actual moment, it was an event.
Yeah, building.
Yeah. And that's what's going to happen on the equinox, is that people are going to start to be aware of what happened yesterday. They're going to start to be picking up these new energies and these new messages, and that people are going to start talking about lucid dreaming, and you know, and you're going to hear more and more people saying, oh my God, this is a message that I got in my meditation, and you know, and that there's going to be some kind of almost like a global awareness at the equinox, because people, I mean, energetically, the planetary things are really important, and that the equinox is an important time, but that it really, that part of that feeds into humans' needs for ritual. Okay, so that they did this on and around the equinox because everybody will be open for the newness, because it is the equinox, because of the ritual of the equinox. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's yeah, and so you're going to become more and more aware of people becoming aware, but you already feel it. You felt it before it opened, and for you, you're going to have a lot more information because of your lucid dreaming and because of them reaching out to you in meditation. You know, however you do it, you're going to start communicating energetically with them, and you will know things by the time the equinox comes along.
Yeah, it's like this product is what's going to help people stop short circuiting, because they will short circuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, you know, our bodies have to change to match the energetic changes.
This is how it's like putting that wire around the wire, you know, that rubber.
Yeah.
This is what this product does. Like the myelin sheath over the nerve coat, the raw nerves.
Yes, and that's exactly right. And it's because we can't go back to the way we were. You know, we can't say, well, I need to get back to when I felt in balance all the time. It's about finding a new balance. It's about finding a new way of processing the new energies. And that's why this product came out in 2015, was so that it would be ready.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah. So have you just said that to anyone else, that you've described them as being a cracked shell that opened? That's interesting. I mean, it really, I mean, it has been so intense. It's been difficult, you know, like, and now, like this morning, I was like, oh my God, please be real. Please be not letting me imagine this is really happening with this softening. I was like, oh my God, that feels so awesome. I was just laying in bed, basking in the feeling of the melted butter.
I can't wait. I hope I have the same reaction to it. Yeah, no, I have not seen that for anybody else. And this has occurred. It's already occurred, you know.
Yeah, so then the immune system stuff, you know, that's what I started questioning. Well, I was like, okay, I'll know it. What were the two ways I was going to know it? Oh, if my T cells start really going up faster, and then like even yesterday, I had these really dark circles under my eyes. Like it was too much, you know. I was like, I needed help, and I asked for it. Like, you need to do something with this head, you know.
Well, and they're just saying one more thing, is that one of the things that sometimes you're good at and sometimes you're not good at is taking the time that you need in between. That you have to understand that you are operating from a brand new place. And so at times when things get overwhelming, you really are just meant to lay on the couch and watch YouTube videos, you know, all day long, and tell the rest of the world to go away. And then there will be the days when you're really energetic. And when you were actively sick, you got that, but you've been feeling so good and so energized, but your guides are reminding you that you're going to need to do the same thing again, that you truly are in a, they're saying it's like a forerunner transition. You are experiencing things that you're not going to read that other people are experiencing. And so you have to make sure that you allow the process to happen the way that it needs to. So follow whatever urging you have. If you have an urge to eat different foods, eat them. If you have an urge to get in your car and drive someplace, do that. If you have an urge to sleep for 3 days, do that, okay? Because you are good at listening to your body, but your brain, your ego gets involved and says, yeah, but I should be doing, oh no, but it's different from what I was doing. And that is the key, that they want you to understand, that it is different. Everything is different now. Everything is new. And you're to just look at your life as an adventure now. And it's not a tough adventure. It's like you've had some real tough adventures in your life. And this isn't. This is the opening, joyful, finding the peace and the integration adventure.
Oh, I mean, I even had a dream one night that did feel like it was a lucid dream that I went to a place that, to me, in my dream, it was a new earth. It was just all lush, green. There wasn't people, there wasn't buildings, there wasn't cities, and animals were being taken there in aircraft, I'll call it, not spacecraft necessarily, but like cargo planes in crates, and being released, like all the animals going extinct. I was being shown they're all being released on this planet, and even my rabbit who died came running over, hopping over, and jumped in my arms like he was there. And so I was like, I woke up going, I just saw the new earth. I just saw the new earth. And there weren't people there yet. All the animals, everything's going extinct, were being released into this new, it was just all lush, just plant, like, nothing, no man-made nothing. And no people were there yet. We were just on the planes releasing the animals. So what was that?
They're saying that it was showing you what the new earth is, and that's what you're moving toward. And what they're saying is that what you didn't see in your dream, because it was a lucid dream and it was a gift given to you, but what you didn't see in the dream is that was part of this world, and that there still were people in other parts of the world, but that's how the earth is going to heal, in bits and pieces, that as it's kind of like when you've been through a fire. I can't believe they're saying this. And, you have patches of hair growing in at different rates, and you have skin that's healing at different rates. And but it was showing you that is what Earth is becoming. And that in that particular place, you weren't aware of the rest of Earth, but there will still be people, and there will still be buildings. And it's about coming back into balance with Mother Earth.
Because I'm seeing people short circuiting emotionally, and getting just like, and I don't know.
It's not time yet for you to be out in the world with your messages. I'm feeling that's going to come in the summertime, when, because you need to settle in from all of this, and that the message is going to become very, very clear, and you're going to have your own YouTube channel. I'm so happy for you. So, I mean, what I'm seeing today is just like, holy shit, this is what you've been waiting for. And yeah, it's going to take a minute to start to unfold, but this is now. I mean, this is really now. And the lucid dreamings and the communications with the celestials is all about it's just happening. And it's happening in a way that's not, it's like, I'm really happy that the lightning bolt was more energetic than an actual physical lightning bolt, where everything got turned upside down. But that's the whole integration process. And that's what you've done, is you've integrated that part of you with the physical part of you. And it helped you to grow in a whole new way and open your mind to a whole new way of understanding the correlation between spirit and physical, and that's where you're going. So.
All right. Okay. I'll see you in April, and I'll send you that information.
Perfect.
All right.
Always good to talk to you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.